free, painting, cake decorating, cooking international dishes, sewing and writing. She have written a book of the real story in which she have revealed one crime, real crime. And they are now making a movie on that one, which she is dedicating that movie to her father. And today we are going to take a flight with, to Sri Lanka with Shreela Goel. Fasten your seat belts, and Sheila will take us to as a pilot to Sri Lanka. Let's sit down, fasten your belts, and let's go to Sri Lanka. Sheila ji?
I don't see her.
Yes, I'm trying to.
Rina, I don't see her here. Shreela Goel.
Sheila
Are you
Goel.
there? Oh, there she is. There she is. She's here. All right.
Welcome, Sheila ji.
Thank you.
Her full name is Sheila Sarkar Goel.
Okay,
All
there
of
she
you
is.
fasten our belts, ready to fly.
Okay. I have a presentation here. I need to share the screen.
Yes, already.
Thank you very much, Veena, for the nice introduction.
Yes. You can share. I have shared. Yes.
Is it now shared? Can you
Yes,
see
it is. Yes, we can see.
And you can hear me too.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Fasten your seatbelts, everyone. So we're going to join Gary Ellis to fly to Sri Lanka because I don't know how to fly the plane.
I have traveled all around the world, crossed oceans deep and wide. Wherever I may be, Sri Lanka's on my mind. The rivers and the mountains and the folks' pretty smile. Though I may be a rover, my heart I leave behind. To Sri Lanka, the land I love. Give me the sunshine, give me the rain, the land of wonders, my land of dreams.
Can we increase the volume?
Of Paris and Iran, nothing can compare to this land they call their own. The Lankan girls are pretty, I'm sure you will agree. You don't believe me, mate, just come along with me. I'm going home, I'm going home to Sri Lanka, the land I love. Give me the sunshine, give me the rain, the land of wonders, my land of fame. Some people think I'm crazy when I'm
hope you enjoyed the ride.
शीला जी आवाज थोड़ी ऊंची कर दीजिए, आवाज कम आ रही है.
I hope you received the background document that Mr. Agarwal sent you all and have had a chance to review it.
शीला जी अपना स्पीकर थोड़ा हाई कर दीजिए, आवाज बहुत कम आ रही है आपकी.
I can. Is that better? I can't go any higher.
That's good, very good now.
So you can speak loudly.
I'll try to. I hope my voice will hold. Anyway, readers have rated Sri Lanka as the #1 travel destination as far as the best island in the world to go, due to the activities, sites, natural attractions, beaches, food friendliness, and overall value. So since I don't have my own videos to share with you, I will be using YouTube and fast forwarding in the interest of time. I hope that'll be okay. And let's
Yes.
start with a general overview of Sri Lanka, because I won't be able to show you all the sites that we'll be going to. This is the station that you will get off at when you visit New Delhi. This is an elephant orphanage in Kandy. Is the volume okay now? Rina? Is the volume okay?
Volume slightly low.
Somehow I won't be able to increase it anymore because I have it maximum.
I
How
think the
about on-
volume is
How
okay when
about on
you.
your computer, if you can make it highest? You know, there's a button there, high volume.
That is going 50% again. It has to be 100%.
In fact, her distance from computer needs to be reduced. So if she comes near to the computer, the voice would be more clear. Thank you.
No, it's still not coming good. Bring your volume up on your computer, actually.
On your computer, and you have to be near the computer. Yes.
We can't
Can't
hear
hear.
you at all.
पहले तो आ रही थी, अब तो लगता है म्यूट हो गई.
I think she might be.
No, she's not mute. She's okay,
she's
but
not
she's.
okay.
इससे अच्छा तो पहले ही था.
हाँ, पहले अच्छा खासा था, सुनाई दे रहा था कम से कम.
अब तो बिल्कुल ही नहीं सुन रहा.
लो था लेकिन सुनाई दे रहा था.
शीला जी बिल्कुल सुनाई नहीं दे रहा है.
क्या करूं? So what do I do?
ओके,
हाँ।
थोड़ा सा आई थी आवाज, अभी थोड़ी सी आई थी आपकी
थोड़ी
आवाज.
इस
जैसे बोलिए, कुछ बोलिए.
कंप्यूटर पे पहले तो उसको हाईएस्ट कर दीजिए.
कंप्यूटर तो हाईएस्ट ही है.
नहीं उससे स्पीकर बढ़ेगा
स्पीकर होगा ना स्पीकर पे.
बट
If you have headphones, please use headphones. That will be better.
क्या
Near to
हाँ
computer.
हम तो क्लोज कर सकते हैं
कंप्यूटर को थोड़ा पास में ले आइए, देखिए उससे
नहीं
शायद.
हम हमारा क्लोज कर सकते हैं हमारा काम हो गया
हाँ, yes.
यू कैन क्लोज इट
Not yet.
मेरी आवाज ये तो
पहले आ रही थी बल्कि
आपको वो साइन नजर आ रहा है स्पीकर का? And talk little louder also.
Sharma ji, can you guide our parent Sharma from Hyderabad? Can you guide?
If she has headphones with my, that will be excellent. That
Yeah, headphone will work.
headphones will work.
चैट कर सकते हो.
इसमें कुछ
But it
मैसेज
was
आ रहा है
fine.
स्पीकर हेडफोन्स आइदर स्पीकर और हेडफोन विल वर्क.
इससे अच्छा तो पहले था पहले तब भी आ रहा था
अच्छा
किसी ने भेजा. आप तुम भेज सकते हैं.
ऐसे कीजिए आप स्लाइड नहीं, आप क्या करेंगे वाईपीजी तो?
ये इसकी शेयर ऑफ करके जरा देखें आवाज कैसे आती है.
नहीं
Yeah.
कर रहा है.
Share your screen back again.
No, she's already sharing. Stop sharing screen.
किसी ने भेजा ना.
कम थी थोड़ी वैसे ठीक है.
वो म्यूट है बेटा. म्यूट हट गया.
Unmuted.
Now we can.
I feel let us continue the way. क्यों?
आप नेशनल एंथम प्ले कर दीजिए फिर इस पे जो भी
Okay.
देखते हैं क्या होता है.
Now, since most of us are Indian here,
It is okay. It is okay. Please continue. Please continue.
I'll be able to catch some words.
He's trying to say that the national anthem is very close to lot of Indian words are there. So that's just like Tamil, Sanskrit, little bit. It's very understandable. That's what she wanted to tell you.
That was the first paragraph, and it was written by Ananda Samarakun, inspired by Rabindranath Tagore of India, our Nobel laureate. Now, this is the island of Sri Lanka, and the cultural triangle is right here. We'll be visiting some of these places. Sri Lanka has 8 World Heritage Sites, and I'll be talking about most of them as best as I can. I hope you can hear me better. The cultural sites are Anuradhapura, Polonnaruwa, Sigiriya, Dambulla, Old Town Goel and its fortifications, Sacred City of Kandy, and the natural sites are the Central Highlands over here, and the Singaraja Forest Reserve. One of the newest buildings that's there in Colombo, the capital, even I haven't seen because it was opened in 2019. It has an elevation or the height of 1,150 feet. It's basically a telecommunications structure, and it's got 8 floors. Each one of the floors is described here as far as what they have. It is in the shape of a lotus petal, so it's called a lotus tower. The framework of the petals over here is in steel, while the petals are in glass also, with a lots of LED lights that change color. Every night it's illuminated and it can be seen from all over the city. It's the 19th highest tower in the world. Lake Biera is a central part of Colombo. It was originally constructed by the Portuguese, and then Dutch and English added to it. So it still has the Portuguese name. There's a temple on the lake that sunk after many years, and the architect Jeffrey Bawa redesigned it. It stands on 3 platforms with seated Buddhist statues displaying various symbols and ritual hand gestures. This is one of the most important government buildings on the island. It's the Independence Memorial Hall. It was located right at the site where the governing was handed over from the British to the Sri Lankans by Prince Henry, Duke of Gloucester. It is located in the Cinnamon Gardens near the Prime Minister's home, Colombo Town Hall, National Museum. Various embassies are there and high commissions, and beautiful mansions are in that area too. Another important building left over by the British was the old Parliament building, and the legislature was here for 53 years until it was transferred to Jayawardhanapura in 1983. It's a neo-Baroque style building, was built by the British again. The new structure that I haven't seen from inside is the Nelum Pokuna Mahinda Rajapaksha Theatre. It is shaped in the form of a lotus flower, and it's illuminated at night. It has a capacity of 1,288 seats, a library and training facilities, and the main auditorium is indoors, but it has an outdoor auditorium that can be expanded as well. Another prominent structure is the mosque, the Red Mosque in Colombo. It was built in 1909, and it's one of the oldest mosques in Sri Lanka. It was built with red and white bricks, and it has onion and pomegranate shaped domes. It has a little appearance of a Russian building in that it has domes, and so it's called Indo-Saracenic style. Visitors, both men and women, can visit as long as they are dressed conservatively. Now here's the first World Heritage Site, Anuradhapura. It's spelled here in Sinhalese. Anuradhapura is the center of Theravada Buddhism, and it actually has the teachings of Buddha's original visions. It's supposed to be around 5th century BC, but architectural data shows that it's about 10,000 BC, 10th century BC, sorry. The most important thing that you would see here is the Bodhi tree, or the sacred Bodhi tree that was brought over from India by Emperor Ashoka's son Mahinda and his daughter Sanghamitta. The Sri Lankan king Devanampiyatissa in 288 BC built this city. However, in 10,017, the Chola king Rajaraja and his son defeated the Sri Lankan dynasty and established themselves in Anuradhapura. They, however, shifted the capital to Polonnaruwa, which is another World Heritage Site. and call it Jagannathapuram. Polonnaruwa was on the banks of the river Mahavali. The Cholas ruled Sri Lanka for 53 years until King Vijayabahu defeated them. And some of the main rulers of Polonnaruwa were Vijayabahu, Parakramabahu, Nisankamalla, and Kalingamala. You saw a little bit of the Dambulla caves in the overall overview, but let me take you there to see a little more detail. So that gives you a little bit of a view of the insides of the caves. All the colors were natural colors, and they date back to the 1st century BC. They were repaired and repainted in the 11th, 12th, and 18th centuries AD. There's about 153 statues of Buddha, 3 statues of Sri Lankan kings, and 4 statues of gods and goddesses. Sigiriya is the other World Heritage Site. It is basically a place that was built by Kashyapa, the firstborn son of King Dhatusena, from a relationship with a concubine of non-royal blood. Although he was the eldest son of the king, he was overlooked as the heir, and his younger brother, Moggallana, born from a royal consort, was supposed to be the heir. Kashyapa, while not in line for the throne, was accepted as his father's son and was respected in the court. But then what he did was he overthrew his father's kingdom and established himself in this palace that he built on top of this rock. He was then defeated in 495 AD. This rock is about 656.2 feet and is surrounded by an intensive network of gardens, reservoirs, and other structures. What's notable in there also is that there's 21 rock paintings or apsaras, just like we find in the Ajanta caves. Kandy is the city where I grew up. I went to school there, but it's also a very famous city because of the Temple of the Tooth Temple.
Which was brought to Sri Lanka during the reign of King Kirti Megawanna in 4th century AD by Prince Danta and Princess Hemamala from the kingdom of Kalinga, India. Since early 4th century AD, when the tooth relic was brought to Sri Lanka, sovereignty in accordance with the belief that its possession will have the people's mandate on the king's legitimate right to the throne. Guarded in a special shrine built within the precincts of the royal palace, wherever the capital was located. While at Kandy, the last royal capital of Sri Lanka, the temple of the sacred tooth relic continues to be the greatest shrine that receives the utmost veneration, especially as a part of religious ceremony, are being carried out daily, weekly, monthly, and annually to pay homage to the tooth relic. These religious services have been carried out for over 2,000 years, and the unbroken lineage between past and the present days, and their continuation assures the cultural heritage for the future generations.
Well, every year, the city of Kandy has a perahera or a parade, during which time they carry the relic of the temple of the Lord Buddha, the tooth that's in the temple, on the backs of the elephants. And here's a little view of that.
The Kandy Asala Perahera is the most colorful and the biggest annual festival of the temple, where it also shows the harmonious blending of Buddhism and Hinduism. For a long period of time, this traditional procession was held in honor of the sacred tooth relic of the Lord Buddha and 4 Hindu gods. Undoubtedly, one of the foremost World Heritage events named by UNESCO. Attracting thousands of pilgrims and tourists to the scenic hill city of Kandy every year, not only to pay homage to the sacred tooth relic and 4 Hindu gods, but also to see the Buddhist arts, culture, the rituals of Theravada, and the Kandian dancing, so unique to the Kandy Asala Perahera. This gorgeous cultural pageant has history, religion, and a nation's culture mingled in it.
What I like to show you now is part of a Candian wedding that's taking place inside the Queen's Hotel, which is the oldest hotel in Kandy. So let them finish getting married. And I hope you're hearing me a little better now.
Yes.
I'm talking as loud as I can. If you notice, the bride's sari was draped differently from the way we dress. They have a frill around the waist. And the brides, they are dressed in white. Now, this is a very interesting tower, the Ambuluweva Tower, that is very close to Kandy also. I had never known about it until recently. They opened it in 2009 as a biodiversity center. At this time, they have counted about 200 varieties of plants belonging to 80 different families. It dates back to the 13th century, and around here at the base, they have a Buddhist temple, a Hindu kovel, a Muslim mosque, and a church. The tower is about 150 feet, and it is above the village of Gampala. Now, Nurelia is in Central Highlands. If you were able to glance at the information I had provided before, Nurelia is known as one of the most picturesque cities in Sri Lanka. It has temperate climate and at an elevation of 6,128. This area is known for its tea plantation, and the British really enjoyed here because they could do their fox hunting, deer hunting, and all their different pastimes. This hotel here is a very old hotel from the British times. It's called the Grand Hotel. And whenever I go traveling there, I ask for the new wing to be staying in the new wing because the old wing is a little creaky right now. The highlands in Sri Lanka are full of waterfalls, and the most famous ones are the Ramboda Falls and the Ravana Falls. It's believed that Ravana kept Sita in a cave close to these falls. Here am I with two of my friends who were there on the last trip I took. What you find interesting in the Nuerelia area is 3 miles outside the city of Nuerelia, there's a little temple called the Sita Aman Temple. It's believed that this is where Sita used to stay. And what's further interesting is that they believe that this is the footprint of Lord Hanuman when he carried the mountain Sanjeevani over to Sri Lanka. So let's take a little view of that hotel, that temple. going a little fast here in the interest of time. Now here are the numerous tea plantations that are there. The tea comes from the plant Camellia sinensis and another variety here also. Tea accounts for 2% of Sri Lanka's GDP and employs over 1 million people. Now over here is a link that I have that shows the tea processing process, but in the interest of time, I'm skipping it. Sripada or Adam's Peak is another famous place where people enjoy going for pilgrimage. It is at an elevation of 7,359, and people who are Buddhists think it's Buddha's footprint, Hindus think it's Shiva's footprint, Christians and Muslims think it's a footprint of Adam or St. Thomas. There are several trails going up this mountain, and this place is also called Samanalakanda because it has a lot of butterflies. Now at the base in this area, Sri Lanka's precious stones can be found, emeralds, rubies, sapphires, and so on. Two famous travelers were Marco Polo and Ibn Battuta, and then there was also William Malcolm, and John Davy. Trincomalee is a city in the northeastern part of the island, and we have the Koneshwaran temple there that has been created or made in the honor of Shiva. It is a temple that was made in 205 BC, and it follows the Dravidian temple plan. The Sinhalese king Gajabahu, who ruled Polonnaruwa, converted to Hinduism, and he was responsible for making this temple. So let's take a quick view of that temple. Along the sides of the temple, they have these little decorations or whatever you may call them. Jaffna is a peninsula that's way up on top in Sri Lanka, and one of the temples there is the Nallur cave, Goel, And usually in August, they have a colorful display of the northern parts culture. Kataragama is another place of pilgrimage where Hindus, Buddhists, native Vedda people, and Muslims go there for pilgrimage. They love taking a bath in the Manikganga, which is similar to the river Ganges in India. It has a lot of healing powers because there's lots of plants that are rooted there that are of medicinal value. Something that's very special or unique to Kataragama is the fire walking rituals. Let's look at some fire walking. They're still preparing the fires. Now this usually takes place right following the Esala Perahara in Kandy. So people go from Kandy to Kataragama just to see this. Now, this is a very ancient city also, and they have found human habitation about 125,000 years ago. Yala National Park usually has safaris, so those interested in going for a safari can go to Yala National Park. They actually have a hotel in there where you can live and enjoy the surroundings of the forest. There's about 44 varieties of mammal and 215 different species of birds. The best time to go there is February to July when the water levels are lower. Yala was hit very badly by the tsunami on December 26, 2004. Some 250 people died there, but surprisingly, none of the animals died. I guess it's their sixth sense. Now, here's a local Aboriginal person in Sri Lanka. They're called the Veddas, and they lived in Sri Lanka prior to the Indians coming. They're nearing extinction, and now they have adopted the Sinhalese language, but they have a very interesting form of martial art called Agampura. And during the last trip, I arranged for a demonstration of this Agampura martial arts. So let's see a little bit of Agampura.
Wikipedia Films, movie presents.
the fort in Goel is another heritage site. It was built by the Portuguese, and then the Dutch and the British fortified it further. It's a quaint historic town, and you can spend a lot of fun times walking through the city and enjoying. Now, what I would like to share with you is a very unique hotel. It's called Jetwings Lighthouse Hotel that was designed by the Sri Lankan architect Jeffrey Bauer. What's unique about it is the staircase. I hope you enjoyed the hotel. It's by the seaside and very difficult to get reservations. Now, Mount Lavinia Hotel is closer to Colombo. It's a hotel that was built originally as a governor's mansion, but what happened to it was that it was built in 1806. The person who came to represent the British government in Sri Lanka was Thomas Maitland. He built his own house there in an area called Galkissa at that time. So it so happened that on his welcoming party, he met a young lady who was a dancer. He fell in love with her. And when he built a tunnel from his wine cellar to her house so that they could meet. So that's something curious. And this hotel was there even when I was there in Sri Lanka. One of the more famous hotels is Golface Hotel. That's also a hotel by the sea. It was built by the British in 1864 and is still functional. It's listed in the books, 1,000 Places to Visit Before You Die. And Arthur C. Clarke, a famous author, science fiction author, he wrote his last chapters of 3001, The Final Odyssey, in this hotel. Other famous visitors were Mahatma Gandhi, Yuri Gagarin, John D. Rockefeller, British Prime Minister Edward Heath, the Duke of Edinburgh, Jawaharlal Nehru and his daughter Indira Gandhi, and so on. It's a long list of visitors who have lived in this hotel. Sri Lanka, as you can see, is a very beautiful country, very scenic, with lots of ancient history that you don't find in the little island, most of the islands that you go to. So let me leave you here with a little baila music that's reminiscent of Portuguese time. It's sung in Sinhalese, and I'll tell you what it means after you listen a little bit.
Come on, dear friends, enjoy yourself. 1, 2, 3, 4. Surangani, 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 Kamalu Ginawa. Malu, 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 Vidanginabu, Malu, Surangani, Kamalu Ginawa. Surangani, 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 Kamalu Ginawa. Malu, 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 Vidanginabu, Malu, Surangani, Kamalu Ginawa.
So basically what this gentleman is singing, he's singing to this lady Surangani, and he's telling her, hey, Surangani, I have brought you some fresh fish. fish that I just got today. So enjoy the fish. And then he sings it in Hindi and Malayalam and a couple of other languages. But that's the Calypso style that was left by the Portuguese. These are some modern buildings coming up. And the one that looked like a slanting or funny looking tower is actually leaning it's 63 stories leaning on a 68 tower. It's on 2 acres of land and it is built by some architects from Boston. It's a multi-use facility. And last of all is another structure coming up designed by my childhood friend Cecil Bauman, who is known as Britain's engineering magician and is responsible or given credit for making the Sydney Opera House a reality. So here is a multi-use building on 10 acres of land. It's got a hotel, residential facilities, and so on. So it's kind of a very rushed tour through Sri Lanka because I had to pack in a lot in 1 hour. I hope.
Beautiful. Sri
Thank
Lanka
you,
is very
Shreela ji.
beautiful.
It is so beautiful. I mean, it is so close to India, and most of us miss going there. We go all over the world. We forget there's such a beautiful place just next to us. So thank you so much, Shreela ji. I really enjoyed. I feel like I visited.
Really
I hope so.
beautiful.
Very beautiful. Thank you so much. I hope we can have much more tours with you. Maybe the next time we will fix little volume little bit better. Otherwise, it was beautiful.
I have to learn all this.
Yeah, must say that too. It's really, really lovely.
Stop the share screen. Please stop the share screen.
Yeah.
We miss seeing it so much, as Baljit ji said.
I stopped sharing. Is that okay now?
No.
Yes.
No, no.
But we want to see you.
Can't you see me over here?
No,
Yes,
no.
I can see you on the side, but not on the full screen.
Please stop the share screen.
I got rid of the share screen. I thought, let me.
No, no.
Now what do we do? How do we get back to it? Mr. Agarwal, help.
No, no.
Which language they speak in Sri Lanka?
In Sri Lanka, they speak Sinhalese or Sinhala.
Oh, Sinhala.
Yeah. And they also speak Tamil.
On the top, there should be stop share. Can you please stop the share? Stop share. On top, the green. There should be green or red.
Very nice.
No,
Very
it's good.
Thank you, Sheila ji. I hope everybody enjoyed that trip to Sri Lanka.
Sri
And we
Lanka.
are back to California again.
Really was